Time now to answer some of your business questions with a focus today on our theme of patents, copyrights, and trademarks. Nina and Jennifer are with us once again. The first one is about the cost of a patent for your idea.
What is the most cost-effective way to patent your new invention?
I think the answer is there is none.
It's a very expensive process. I mean, it's definitely one that you should consult with an attorney with. And I think that's people's first hesitation because they read about how expensive they are. But part of that expense depends on what it is you're trying to patent and, frankly, whether you need a patent in the first place. One of the things that I always guide entrepreneurs to do is to go to some of the sites that actually kind of teach you how to do it online. I mean, there's things like Rocket Lawyer and LegalZoom that will at least give you some education, and it will help you think through the process so that when you actually do meet with an attorney, you're really prepared with questions, and then you and the attorney can figure out when the timing for a patent is right, about what it's going to cost, and how you can be a really proactive client and participate in the whole process.
Yeah, how much does it cost about usually? I mean, it's thousands and thousands of dollars.
Well, certainly in terms of the attorney's fees, one of the things that people can do is possibly work with a patent agent instead of working with a patent attorney. Patent agents also have technical backgrounds the way patent attorneys do, except they're not licensed to practice law.
Got it.
But they are licensed by the patent bar to help you file those applications. So sometimes that can be slightly more cost effective. But again, I would, as Jen mentioned, I'd recommend that you speak with both to get a sense of what would be what are you getting yourself into.
And I think you're right, too, to educate yourself before talking to any of these people, because remember, you guys charge, well, not you anymore, you used to be a lawyer, but charge hourly. So when you eliminate some of those hours, you're going to be paying less.
Right. And I'd also recommend the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has their own website, and there you're certainly going to find out all the information about the patent filing fees.
Right. Okay. Let's move up to the next question. This is about the easiest way to protect your ideas.
The question I have is, there's a legal reference that supports the idea that I can protect my intellectual property by simply placing the trademark sign versus registering the actual intellectual property. Is that correct?
It's funny, I've heard this question quite a few times. Can you just put it up there without actually getting a trademark?
You can, actually, but it doesn't mean that it's federally registered. That little R with a circle is what you get when you've actually filed a trademark application with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office.
Right.
What the little TM does is it puts everybody on notice that you think you happen to have rights in your particular mark. So it's kind of a defensive move. You know, the next step to actually protecting them is filing, but you do generally have some common law rights.
Right, but something else to consider is that if you don't go through the registration process and then somebody infringes on your mark, there are advantages that you get from registration that you're not going to have because you didn't go through that process, such as getting attorney's fees and perhaps statutory damages if you win in an infringement suit.
So is it worth somebody doing this? I mean, I'm not gathering from you guys to just put the little TM?
No, I actually think it is. It really is. Because, I mean, the attorney's fees, of course, is a bigger cost, but the application itself is actually not that much. And for businesses that are expanding across the U.S., which, I mean, almost every small business is going to want to be on the Internet at some point, you really do want to protect it. And I think the benefit that you get from being able to have the statutory protection is really worth the effort.
Yeah, I would say that that's a good first step,
but
you will want to follow up with registration.
Okay, perfect. Finally, now we have a question from Robert, and he writes, how do I know when it's worth it to go after somebody who's violating my copyright? I think this is my favorite question, because we talk a lot about, should I go protect my intellectual property, but it's only good to protect if you actually have the means to go after somebody.
Right. And I think there are three factors to consider. Well, first of all, is what's the size of your bank account? The copyright that you want to enforce, have you actually registered it with the Copyright Office? And how valuable is that particular copyright to the scope of your business? If it's article that you put online and it's not that valuable, it may just not be worth it when you go through that analysis speaking with an attorney.
Right, and I'm guessing you also have to look at the person who you're going after, right? Are they tiny and do they really matter? Are they somebody with deep pockets and you don't want to fight against them?
Exactly, and part of the cost of the fight is not just the amount that you're spending in attorney's fees, but it's the emotional time and it's the time away from your business. So one of the factors that I always ask clients to consider is, what are you really getting from it? I mean, are they doing something that is tarnishing your name, or are they really generating revenue based on your own copyright? I mean, take a look at the extent of what they've done. Sometimes it's actually as simple as writing a letter and saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, and people will actually stop. But before you get into a fight, think about all of the costs involved, not just the legal ones.
I think the letter is a good idea, too. Sometimes people just don't know. Or they know.
That's absolutely true.
Or they know and they think they'll get away with it, and the minute they see a letter, they think, oh, okay, I'm gonna stop doing this.
This is a person who's going to be a problem for me. Let me not go forward.
Exactly. It's not worth it. All right. Well, thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you.
And if any of you out there have a question for our experts, all you have to do is go to our website. The address is openforum.com/yourbusiness. There, just hit the Ask the Show link to submit a question for our panel. Again, the website is openforum.com/yourbusiness. You can also email us your questions or your comments. The address is yourbusiness@msnbc.com.